A calm Wednesday morning to you, and welcome to Ways Breakfast, hashtag What Are You Saying, the thought-provoking breakfast show for great enthusiasts and progressive minds. On this show, we explore fresh perspectives, pressing discussions, and inspiring stories through Mondays to Fridays, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. on this show every day. And I am Okikiola Taiwo Jalopon, and I welcome you to the show this Wednesday morning, very, very specially. And of course, you know, I'm never here alone. My best girl is with me, God's Beauty Israel. Good morning, God's Beauty.
Good morning, Okiki. How are you?
Doing? I'm fine.
You look beautiful.
Thank you.
It wasn't for the excitement, tell me.
I don't know. I woke up this morning angry. You know, I don't know. I think at this point, I need to start to be positive. That thing when they say what you send out to the universe is not the universe. At this point, the universe is messing with me. Because what I'm sending it out to the universe is not what the universe is giving me. Is I'm giving it lemon, it's giving me lemonade. Who asked you for that? But I woke up after everything, all the things that could possibly happen that could make you feel angry or sad or something. I decided to show up excited, and then that's just it. What about you?
Beautiful as usual. Nothing special, right? Woke up this morning feeling fly, feeling excited, feeling grateful for life, for everything in between. So yeah, there's nothing really serious. It's just the happiness and the glow of Jesus in my life.
Somebody say hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Anyways, yesterday was I think the official burial of the ex-president, and it was a public holiday for a lot of Nigerians, or all Nigerians, where they were so excited that when they thought June 12th was going to be the last public holiday for the first half of the year, President Buhari decided, or ex-President Buhari decided to give us a parting shot with a public holiday. But what would you say you did yesterday that was maybe normal or just different?
So first off, I think that, let me use the same word or the same sentence that's been reigning since, I think, the day before, since we heard about the news, right? The nation is still weeping, right? And I don't know, I feel like, a lot of persons just felt that. Even though there are rumors, I think I was hearing you on Monday, if I'm not mistaken, when you're saying that we've heard, there are so many times we've heard this man has died. Exactly. So the fact that, this time is going to be like probably the last time we'll be hearing that this person is actually there. I really don't know how to feel about it. I like how, certain serious persons in the country now went there to, show their sympathy and all of that to the family, because you cannot really take out the fact that each and every one of us will probably be cruising or, saying one thing or the other, but then the people that feel it more, are the family, because given that he has even been sick before, the death came, right? There's that journey. You really do not know how it feels or what it looks like until you are at that point where you're seeing, someone that used to be very strong and hearty, now very quiet, very calm. He really cannot do anything on his own. You are there to support. There's really a lot of work into that, right? So, my condolences to his people, right? Because to be honest, let them go feel this thing past. Each and every one of us, like I said before, we are just catching cruise with it. Ex-people, I don't know what's going on with those people. But I just know that each and every one of us are, we really don't, we care. I feel like you just say that, with words and all, but then we really don't see the actions, given all the dragging I've been saying. But yeah, I just hope that his family are actually taking this the right way and let him rest in perfect peace. That's all I can say.
Anyways, this holiday gave me a lot of reflections. Starting off with the fact that, while some are jubilating about how they get to rest, they don't get to work, people are actually working. His family were working tirelessly to honor him, give him a proper burial. And I saw one very sad picture. It showed where he was sitting. The same spot where he used to sit, have meetings, talk to people, was the same spot that they had to bury him. And it gave me this whole, when something that looked like the world to you, something that looked like ease to you, would somewhat maybe be your resting zone after some years or some decades. And as you said, condolences to his family and even the people of Daura. And I hope that they find that comforting. A comforting life, you know, moving on from the ex-president, and of course to Aisha Buhari too. I also hope that you're, you know, in that space where you can know that your husband lived a good life, and then you got to see him in his last days. And basically, that's that's all I can say about the ex-president and what the holiday meant, you know, for me and every other person. So if you're yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, please subscribe now at Official Upgrade TV. You can like and share this link. You can also follow us on all our social media handles showing right now on the screen. Today, we're taking on an important conversation: waste, flood, and the green gold rush. I'm sure you must be wondering what this conversation is about, but don't worry. Sit back and relax. We have an expert guest who will be joining us live in the studio soon and ready to unpack this conversation with us. I hope our viewers at home or wherever they may be watching us have their phones recharged for data, because you need data to be able to watch us for the next 1 hour. And you've also gotten your pens and papers ready to write and note in what ways you can be part of this conversation. Let's go on a break right now. When we return, we'll take you first through the top stories across the globe and down towards the topic for today. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back. Well, sure, glad to have you back from that break. Now, let us take a look at the news from the pages of today's newspaper. Today, we'll be highlighting the top stories from The Punch, The Guardian, and, of course, the international news. You also know that I like to go abroad before we bring you back home. So, God's Beauty.
All right, straight into the South China Morning Post. At the top left, we have boom for China's tech ambitions. Mid-top, we have probe into AI porn student case. Then top right, we have unwrapping the Taiwan papers. Main headline, we have grow on track, but outlook a concern. Now, next to that, beneath the image on the front page, we have HK to regulate ride-hailing firms early next year. Then beneath that, which is the last headline on the newspaper, we have Taiwanese plans United States stop over next month. So the two headlines I'll be taking. The first one is the main headline, which is growth on track, but outlook a concern. So quickly reading in details, we have Chinese exports recorded a larger than expected acceleration in June as companies took advantage of a 90-day tariff truce with the United States to speed up their shipment. Now, the world's top merchandise exporters saw its outbound shipment raised by 5.8% year-on-year to reach 325 billion US dollars last month, according to the custom data released on Monday. So I think that this is something that almost everybody would, you know, every country is actually even dealing with, because sometimes it looks, I mean, surface level, you actually think that you guys are progressing until you see that, you know, there are certain lapses here and there. So I feel like, of course, China, in as much as there are always positive news in China, of course, they will always have their problems. But I like how they, you know, they also come out to speak about it so that they are able to check out what can be done to ensure that they don't be in that, you know, in that same position. So I like the fact that the truce that they had with United States, they actually saw, you know, make good use of it. So right now, I mean, I think it was in a newspaper even yesterday, right? that they have actually made a lot of income in just, I mean, in how many days that they had this conversation with the United States, and the fact that the United States allowed them to be able to import and export as they want, right? So I really like how they are able to, you know, raise their GDP higher, but then of course there are lapses, but I know for sure that they would also, you know, take care of it. Now, this other headline is something that I'm trying to still understand what's going on, which is Taiwanese plans United States stopover next month. So, okay, so the Taiwanese leader is planning a United States stopover trip in August that could take him to New York and Texas en route to South Africa. Now, sources said that, sorry, the move that the move, right, this is bound to anger Beijing. So I think that there's a conflict between Taiwan and China, I mean, given history and all. So I really don't know what it is exactly, but the fact that, I mean, it is on the newspaper that the Taiwanese leader is about heading to the United States, and he intends to stop at other countries like South Africa, America actually, and all. So the fact that, you know, this is actually stated and in the news, it makes it look like China is going to have an issue with it. I'm just, you know, I want to just understand why exactly would that be. And I think there's also a part in the headline where, you know, there's a particular Taiwan policy that just came out, but somehow they said that that policy is somehow going to affect, you know, China. So I really don't know what exactly is going on, but I just thought to give you guys that update. Probably with time, to uncover by itself, and then we know, you know, better. But yeah, that's all I have for you on the
But
news.
on the first story, I think
Okay.
I would want to comment on, you know, the South China newspaper talking about, or the Taiwanese talking about how much they have made from the conversation between the United States and them. And just yesterday, I was reading a story where they said that the United Kingdom has actually opened about, you could export about 3,000, is an open market. Now, I'm trying to put that in a sentence, but it's not clicking in my head, so I'm just going to say it as I could. So this is showing that you can now export things like ginger, cashew, you know, garlic, all these things for zero duty. So it means that there's nothing like high cost of export and all of this stuff. But there was one thing that they highlighted, and that's why I want to also cite the problem.
Okay.
We are short of ginger, garlic, cashew in Nigeria, and that's why these things have become expensive over the years. So now saying that it's now an open market, why it's an opportunity for us to start to export these things, we still have a food crisis in Nigeria. So I feel like until we have stabled the production of these materials, we should not be exporting to other countries just because it's more expensive. When you export, maybe say you buy 1 kg for 1,600 here. When you export to the places like UK, you can now make 18,000 naira or 20,000 naira from it. I think we should start looking beyond what profits we could make from it, but making sure that Nigeria is stable enough, the lands, the security is stable enough for us to even think about exporting. UK only opened that borders because they lack it. It's not because they like us. So we need to start looking at it. But it's an opportunity to make money. It's also going to have its own side effects. And I'm just relating that to
So what's going on in China?
Yes, to the first story that you addressed. But then the Nigerian newspaper has quite a number of stories here. We have the Saudi Arabia Moroccan king mourn Buhari and praise service to Nigeria. And that's funny because a lot of people who have been praising Buhari on the news and on X have been saying, what did he do exactly? Why is he here? And all of that stuff. And some were very excited. But we have other people talking about his service to Nigeria and praising him for it. We also have Dangote faulting capital flight, insist on investing in Nigeria. We have another story reading, leaders, friends, politicians unite in stately farewell for Buhari. And the picture shows different people, even the governor, Diko, crying so deeply about the death of Buhari. So let me just say that that's all I can take on the Guardian newspaper. The Punch also have final salute. Nigeria bids Buhari emotional farewell. Tinubu, Akpabio, service chiefs, governors pay final respect amid tears and tripled. Daura standstill at Katsina Airport records over 130 flights. Osibajo ex-governors join African leaders, Saudi King Prince Mohammed Buhari. We also see here that Nigeria's oil output soars above OPEC quota, which is a good news at this point. We also have North Central State mobilized joint security to crush bandits. So I think the Nigerian news is giving positive today. And then we're seeing over 420 federal roads completed or in progress. And the final story here is marketers protest as Dangote moves to crash cooking gas price. Marketers, if you like, protest from now to next year. We deserve it and it should happen. We must have it. Dangote is saying that we have to start investing in Nigeria. And I don't see why there is a big deal there. Why I think that he's a businessman doing his own business is the fact that that businessman is businessing in Nigeria. So if you want to business in Nigeria,
I agree.
That's all I can say. And that's all we have on today's newspaper. I hope you have learned a thing or two or been able to tap into any of the stories that we have highlighted here. We'll go on a break right now. And of course, we would return with our expert guests for today. Please stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population and with little or no meaningful engagement leaves a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.
Life is made up of moments, some that fill us with joy, others that test our strength. Welcome to Heartlines. This is our space to explore the highs and lows of human connection, the love, the heartbreak, and resilience that shapes our life. From relationships to friendships, parenting to partnerships, and so much more. Every week, we share stories and conversations that define us, navigating love, separations, the struggles of parenting, dealing with anxiety and managing the pressures and stress of life. Real conversations that bring us closer, helping us heal, grow, and connect. So join me Mondays through Fridays at 10 p.m. for Heartlines, the show where we'll connect hearts, have real conversations with real people, one story at a time.
Tell us you're a Nigerian without saying a word. Energy security is one of the most pressing issues for many developing countries like Nigeria. And if there's going to be any meaningful progress, addressing our energy issues is non-negotiable.
I need to see light from my house. Make them do something.
Band A is expensive. I literally have to turn off all my appliances just to reduce costs.
We need light.
Introducing the Energy Outlook, your go-to show for everything energy. Every week, we'll bring you the latest insights, innovation, and in-depth analysis of Nigeria's energy sector. From policy discussions to regulatory insights, we'll analyze the key decisions influencing growth and sustainability in the energy sector. We'll bring you the human stories behind the headlines, giving you a personal perspective on the broader energy challenges. Join me every Friday at 6 p.m. for the Energy Outlook, your guide to the future of energy, where energy means business.
This season on Heartlines, we're committed to making a difference in people's lives. So Heartlines, in partnership with Veda Consult, is offering 12 free slots of counseling every quarter for people in need of professional counseling. Additionally, we're taking on 2 pro bono cases for individuals navigating a challenging divorce. To participate, please send an email to counsel@vedaconsult.com with your story. Our team will carefully review all submissions and will contact all the shortlisted candidates. Heartlines is live Mondays to Fridays at 10 p.m. So engage with us.
Welcome back to the show. Today's topic is quite crucial and must be talked about. Waste, flood, and the green gold rush. We've asked what that is. Well, Nigeria is facing a growing environmental crisis due to inadequate waste management and increasing flood. The country's rapid urbanization and population growth have put a strain on its waste management infrastructure, leading to overflowing landfills, clogged drains, and environmental pollution. In 2022, Nigeria generated approximately 32 million tons of waste, with a significant portion of it ending up in landfills or dumped indiscriminately. This has severe environmental and health implications, including the spread of diseases and contamination of water resources. Did you know that Nigeria's waste management challenges are exacerbated by the lack of effective waste segregation and recycling practices? According to World Bank, Nigeria's recycling rate is less than 1%, highlighting the need for improved waste management and strategies. The consequences of not taking waste management and flood prevention seriously can be very severe. For example, flooding in major cities like Lagos and Port Harcourt has become increasingly common, causing damage to infrastructure, displacement of people, and loss of livelihoods. Even the environmental pollution has caused poor waste management, which can have long-term health consequences, including respiratory problems and cancer. The economic cost of environmental degradation and flooding can be significant, with estimates suggesting that Nigeria loses billions of naira each year due to these issues. And of course, the lion in the room, the green gold rush. What is the green gold rush? It refers to the potential economic benefits of sustainable management, waste management, and recycling practices. And I believe by adopting circular economic principles and investing in waste to wealth initiatives, Nigeria can create new economic opportunities, reduce environmental pollution, and promote sustainable development. These solutions are widespread, and to address these challenges, Nigeria needs to adopt a multifaceted approach that includes improving waste management, infrastructure, including waste segregation and recycling facilities. We should also start promoting sustainable practices such as reducing single-use plastic, just like Lagos has implemented, and also increasing recycling rates. We should also invest in flood prevention and mitigation methods such as drainage system and flood-resistant infrastructure. We should also encourage the private sector and other organizations who are very key into waste management, invest in waste management and recycling initiatives. And I believe by working together, Nigeria can address its environmental challenges and create a more sustainable future for its citizens. Well, talking about what we can do together, we have a guest here, our guest Omolola Akisoya from Clean Waves Nigeria. She would share her insights on the current state of waste management in the country and the impact of flooding on our communities. We'll explore the challenges, the potential solutions, and the opportunities for innovation in waste management and flood prevention. And I hope that, as I said, our viewers are ready to hear from Omolola. Omolola, welcome.
Hi.
It's so great to have you on the show.
It's great to be here. Good morning.
Funny,
Good morning.
when I saw this conversation, I was like, what do I know about waste management? I'm just doing my best. I'm just a girl. I don't know what is happening. I'm just doing my best. But you see how one choice can spread into what could be positive or negative in our nation. So it's almost like I know what I can do in my own space, but what can we do collectively? But that makes me very, enthusiastic about what made you start Clean Waves. What was the inspiration? Did you just sit in one place and be like, my room is not clean. let me start Clean Waves. So what was the inspiration?
Very funny story. It was back in 2018. I was in Ibadan, and I think I had gone to the gym. I was walking with a friend. We were just taking a walk. His name Tofumi. And I think I bought sweets, and then I just thought, I was like, pfft. And Tofumi was like, don't do that. And in my head, I'm like, what do you mean don't do that? It's like, it's normal.
Everybody does.
And he was like, no, that's not normal. And because he was my friend, he was able to address it, like, with love. So I realized that what I was doing was wrong. I didn't realize what I was doing was wrong all along. Like, I mean, of course, I wouldn't randomly carry my dustbin and go and throw it on the road or pour it in the gutter, but I was unconsciously contributing to the waste management problems in Nigeria. That was in 2018. That was a random event. Of course, Clean Waste didn't start in 2018. We started later in 2023. And the story behind that is equally funny. I had gone to the beach with my friends, went camping, and it was an overnight camping experience. And in the morning, I realized how dirty the beach was. You know how typically when you go to the beach, you're just chilling, you're focusing on recreation, I'm trying to relax. So you're not really paying attention to the fact that when you're taking a selfie, there's a bottle of water in your picture, just ruining the aesthetic. It was purely aesthetics for me. I was so upset because, like, why can't I take good pictures? Why is there trash in my picture, And I remember how that day I told my friends, please, we need to clean this place. And they were like, no, we're not. And it didn't make sense to me that they didn't want to clean the beach. But I then realized they were not, I hadn't sold the idea to them well. And even I didn't know this extent. I didn't know how much work needed to be done. So I had to go back, I had to do my research. There's really nothing special. I don't have, as of now, I don't have any special certification to say, oh, I'm a waste management guru or but I just did a lot of research, and I was just really angry at how things were and also knowing that there's potential for things to be better. And from there, we organized our first cleanup. We used at Takwabe community, because that was where we had gone for the camping experience. And then from there, it just gradually developed. And I mean, we're still quite small. From the beach cleanups, we're able to have a plastic to wealth initiative where people got valuable items in exchange for recyclables. That was back in May. We had gone to the community, told them, we have this bunch, we have this really cool stuff because we got some sponsors. And if you're able to get me at least 100 pieces of plastic, I will give you this and this and this. And you needed to see how excited people were. People started to understand that recyclables can translate into useful items. It can translate into money. So yeah, that's pretty much the narrative. That's how we started. We still have a very long way to go. We have a community of volunteers. We also have other people in this space, Recyclob and Project Conserve River and Team Illuminate. So we're still figuring it out, basically. But yeah.
Before I allow August Beauty to ask a question, you mentioned something about not necessarily figuring it out altogether, but still being in the process. what's the vision that you really sell to people who are, let's say, individuals first, maybe your friend, colleague? What's that vision you sell to them for Clean Waves, and maybe for a more cleaner Lagos? Let's start with Lagos, a more cleaner Lagos, and maybe Nigeria over the years. What's that vision?
Okay, so because the inspiration started from me wanting to relax and have a good time and just wanting the aesthetics and the vibe to like come correct, that's what I sold. The first beach cleanup we had, the theme was clean and chill. So you're not just coming to clean, and then go back home. No, we had snacks, we had music, we had drinks. Coincidentally, one of my friends was also having like an overnight camping thing at the beach on that day. So some people even stayed back to do that. So for the beach cleanup experience, we try to push like the clean and chill. So when you clean, you get to chill in a clean, relaxed environment. However, the bigger problem is the subtle yet humongous indiscipline that most people have, just like I did back in 2018. I didn't even know it was a problem. A lot of people don't even realize it's a problem. So the most important thing is to let them know that, you know what, this is not right. We need to do better. If you have trash and you want to dispose it, just hold on to it till you find dustbin. I was at the jetty on Sunday, and I got there and it was so dirty. It was early in the morning. I was just concerned, like, why is this place so dirty? And there were waste bins around. And I was still looking, and I saw this lady. She was hooking fish, and I think someone bought something. She was drinking water. She just threw it on the floor. And in less than, like, 10 steps, there was a waste bin. So in my head, I'm like, can you not see that there's a waste bin over there? But someone like that, she just needs information, and she would do better, I hope. I pray. But I want to believe that most of us just need information and we will do better.
That's the information that I want you to tell us now. Okay. Because just like you said so many times already, I feel like a lot of persons don't actually know what, all of those having to put, nylon and all of these things on the floor, what would it do? I mean, the result would be later, right? So I'm curious to know what exactly your friend told you that day that you threw that, that paper or that nylon away. I want to understand what he said, and that's why I want you to tell the audience. Because then, if that particular thing can change your mentality or your the way you see things, I believe it can actually change somebody out there. It has never made sense to me. Do you understand? So I don't know how many people, that have the same mentality that we do right now on the table. So I want you to tell us, tell them, so that they start having a different mentality into these things. And then, I'm saying this because there have also been reports about, the flood. I'm very sure you must have heard of that. 21 states out of 36. How many were they? And you know how it is. I mean, it's interrelated and all of that. So there's no how it's going to get to those 21, states without getting to the rest of us. Yes. Do you understand? So, which is something I would want us to explore a bit later. But then I want you to, pass that information to the audience.
Okay, so there's this quote that I really love by Annie Leonard. It says, there's no such thing as a way. When you throw something away, it goes somewhere.
I agree.
And I remember, honestly, I can't remember what my friend said to me. It was such a long time ago, but he called me out, basically. He called me out. I was like, fine, babe, why are you littering?
Fine girl.
Fine girl, why are you? It's giving dirty. It's giving this girl. So, like, do normal. And, it's the same way you wouldn't, like, throw things around in your house. Even if someone is dirty, once in a while you clean your house now. Because if you don't clean your house, you start inviting rodents and things in. So it's that mentality we need to start having towards like how we take care of the world. Like when this realization came to me, I would go about, before I would just walk around and there's like trash on the floor and it's just normal. You're not really paying attention to it. But then I suddenly started seeing everything clearly. It was like something was taken off my face and I could see like everywhere was dirty. And I'm like, why is everywhere so dirty? And the crazy part about all this is that this trash, they move. Because like nylons, bottles, tin can, whatever, somebody will kick it, breeze will blow it, and guess where it will end up? In your gutter. Guess where it will end up? In the streams and in the ocean. I was in the ocean trying to, okay, don't let my mother hear this, but I was at the beach and I was trying to have a good time, just trying to swim. And there was nylon bag in the water. And I'm like, how did you get here? You're not supposed to be here. This is not your natural habitat. But guess what? Someone probably in maybe even a different state or even a different country had used that thing. Somebody has kicked it, breeze has blown it, and then it met me where I was. So, I mean, I think the mind shift people need to just start having is open your eyes. It's not normal that your environment is dirty. It's not normal.
Thank you very much, Omolola. We'll go on a quick break right now, and of course, we'll return still talking more about waste, flood, and of course, the green gold rush. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. You are still watching Waste Breakfast, hashtag what are you saying? And of course, we have comment from our YouTube channel. Ibrahim Bello is saying, Omolola, you are good. Too good. And I like the way she gave that smile. And that's why I did not tell her when we went on a break. I wanted to see the real reaction when we tell her that someone here is saying, Omolola, you are good and you are too good. And I think that I completely agree with this person, because taking up such initiative might have started just as a joke, as vibe, but has become something serious and global in that sense. So looking at connection, you were talking about how that nylon moved from probably a state, a country, into where you were. How do you think that these waste management, and, flood prevention are interconnected? And, what solutions do you think can be implemented to, mitigate these issues? Okay,
so waste management and flood, how do I think they're interconnected? In the course of my research, I realized that a lot of things cause flood. I mean, there's climate change and all that. But the thing about climate change is that climate change is highly influenced by human activities. And that will bring me back to waste management. People don't take care of their waste. And I want to believe it's because they don't have information, like I said earlier. And that's why I'm here, to share some of what I have read and that I have observed with people. There are different types of waste. We have the biodegradable, non-biodegradable. Biodegradable means that it can decompose and turn into something else. And then those are things that you can use for like your manure and whatnot. Non-biodegradable means that this particular waste, nothing to them, it will stay like that for a long time. We have plastic that have existed for years. They're not going to decompose, they're not going nowhere. But if you take those plastic, for instance, and instead of throwing them away or, just putting everything inside your trash bin, you can actually turn it into something else. I believe that Nigerians have a high reusing culture. I mean, in our houses, you probably have that bottle that you're still using.
Oh, that's ice cream plastic that you thought is ice cream, but it's your mother's soup.
So you can use bottle to put ororo, palm oil, and all those things. But recycling, I don't know, maybe the word is so fancy that people think that recycling is just for the elites or the bourgeoisie or people that are educated. No, because guess what? The recycling business is highly influenced by scavengers. In Nigeria, scavengers that maybe don't even have any form of education. They go around, they carry plastic, and they sell them. You ever wonder when you see people carrying these things around, do you ever stop to think that, okay, this person that's always carrying plastic around, how much do they actually make from that plastic? I'm going to touch on that when I talk about the green economy. But connecting waste management and flood, plastics do not melt, they do not decompose, which means that if, say, I'm thinking of the best analogy, if, say, an apple and a bottle of Coke fall into a gutter, over time, the apple would, melt, store, and then just, that bottle will stay there. That bottle will block something that water is supposed to pass through. And water is not to be joked with. Water is older than all of us. Water moves. Water would always move. Even if you block it, even if you stomp it, whatever you do, water would always find a way. So it means that if water is supposed to pass through this place, for instance, to maybe get into the ocean or get into waterways and be maybe from your area, and nylon bags or bottles or everything, or are blocked drainage, it means that some of the water will pass, but if the water does not find where to go through, it would start splashing around, and then that's why you start seeing water on the road, water getting into cars. I saw a video, water, like there was so much water, it was entering into people's keke. I saw we know what's happening in the country now, in Niger and the rest. That is how powerful water can be. It would move, water has no respect for anybody. It will move things, and lives, properties, things like that will get lost. So now, bringing this back to the green economy, so I think I've been able to connect waste and flood, and how you throwing something out is probably the reason why somebody in Lekki, although drainage system too is there, like it's poor, but let's address the one that we can control, which is don't throw things anyhow. Don't put your dustbin, don't go and throw your dustbin on the road. Don't think somebody else is going to clean it. No, don't be dirty. Be clean. Be responsible. Have some discipline. Be demure. So back to the green rush. According to statistics, about 32 million tons of waste is being generated in this country alone. I want to show you, I want to tell you something. And, okay, so let me just break it down. A kg of plastic is, let's say, 30 bottles. It sounds stressful to say, I can't be packing bottle, there's no space to put it, whatever. Especially because a kg of bottles, PET bottles, I want to use PET bottles now, is 30 bottles. 30 bottles in the market, they will give you maybe 80 naira to 150 naira. Maybe if they're being generous, you get 200, 300 naira. So when you do that calculation, you're like, after I've carried 30 bottles since the beginning of January, you mean it's just 200 naira you're going to give me? So first of all, the mindset that we need to have about this gold rush is not that we want to make money out of it. First of all, we need to have that responsibility to say that we need to take care of our environment. So first of all, let me just put that out there. However, 1 ton is equals 1,000 kg. And 1,000 kg could fetch you about, say, 80,000 to 150k naira. Are you with me? So you're already seeing that the numbers are... So when you start seeing those scavengers carrying those things up and down, you're already doing a mental calculation in your head to say, how much is this person about to acquire? Now, like I mentioned earlier, we have about 32 million tons of waste in Nigeria. Maybe it's not all PET bottles, because there are different types of recyclable waste. We have PET bottles, we have aluminium can, like all those your canned drink and the rest. We also have carton, like what is your Indomie? Those are things that can be recycled easily, that recyclers will easily take. Now, even 10% of the 32 million tons of recyclables we have in this Nigeria, if we recycle it, which is like 3.2 million tons, if we recycle it, that's 3.2 million tons times, let's say, 80,000 naira. That already gives us 256 billion naira. Billion. And this is an environment that is so ignored, I want you to leave this room knowing that every time you drink a bottle of Coke and you don't take care of it, you're wasting money. Yeah. You're
And I
throwing
don't
away
like to
money.
waste money. I would like to spend it.
So, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, so I mean that's pretty much the connection. So we need to go from that idea of I'm throwing things away to how much can this fetch me in the long
I like
run.
that.
Yeah.
I think that's something that every Nigerian would actually want to, do. Yeah, giving the billions that you can eventually get from it. But then I want to ask, right, given, like I said earlier, we having these statistics or this new threats, I really don't know what to call it now, but stating that 21 states out of the whole 36 will be, damaged because of flood and all of that. I don't think it's something that is a good news in that sense. So what do you think should be the best practice that we should start, emulating as Nigerians? I mean, I've heard you with certain things, and I think that this recycling business that you actually just stated is actually a very good one. But then I want us to just take it to the government angle now, because we've actually just talked about individuals and all. What do you think are the things that the government have not probably done or impute that have, warranted this kind of threats, from still persisting? Because this is not the first or the second or even the third that we're hearing about this flood threats and all. So what do you think they should start doing differently? Maybe tech-related. I mean, just expand on it a bit.
Okay, so I mean, I know by now most of us already know about the Lagdo Dam. I don't even pronounce that right. But the dam, again, I did a little bit already. Guys, let's read. Because everything we need is online. Most of it is online. And it's always good to compare your facts, of course. But I learned some interesting thing about the Lagdo Dam, because I've always heard, even on Ways, I've heard different conversations around how, Cameroon built a dam and, is bordering the River Benue. And interestingly, the idea was that Cameroon was supposed to build their own, we are supposed to build our own. And when we finish building it, it's supposed to be a source of electricity, irrigation, and all those things. And because when you think about the fact that the water coming from the dam of another country is killing people in my country, in your head you just be like, no,
You're wrong.
it doesn't make sense. But then when you dig deeper and you find out that APAS, your own country, was supposed to also build a dam to mitigate these things, but because of one thing or the other change in government, they didn't think it was a high risk or it was priority, nothing happened. And now people are dying. And instead of focusing on building what needs to be done to save people, you're now moving people. And you're saying, when it's rainy season, just go somewhere else, And then when you come back.
That somewhere else is 21 states out of 36.
It's wild. So first and foremost, build the dam. Honestly, build the dam. I don't work in government. I hope someone listening works with the government. I don't know how the protocols go. I mean, maybe if I read about it, I would know. But first of all, that needs to work. If the government is having a hard time, there are construction companies, private companies that I know that they can always come in to do this. So that one is not within our power. But I mean, the government. So maybe if we need to sign petitions or whatever to make sure the government does that, that is a conversation that probably the advocates that are listening to me right now, or anybody who God just wants to drop that inspiration in your heart that, you know what, I'm going to do something about it. We need to understand that, we can do anything, really, if we just put in the effort, if we do our research, if we put in the time. Of course, the government, like Nigerian government, or maybe even governments in general, might make it hard, but there's nothing that is impossible. Now, beyond the government, let's not talk about things that are within our own control. Actually, no. Secondly, still with the government, irrigation systems. So I'm going to talk about the irrigation systems as well as what we can do, what is within our own control. Because we dispose waste anyhow, we've added to the problem. So we're not even able to properly say that, maybe the irrigation system we know the irrigation system is not sufficient, but we've added to the problem. So it's like a situation where, the one we gave you, you don't spoil out, so to speak.
Absolutely.
So it still boils down to the unit, the individual. I strongly believe that if one person decides to do the right thing and they see that this thing that I'm doing is right and it's going to benefit everyone else, just like I am here, or just like I have been talking to my friends, sometimes I even get into fights with them. But I've learned that you have to do it with love. Because if you're coming at people, making them feel guilty, they will not do anything.
More stubborn. What are
Yeah,
you
we'll
gonna do
say,
about it?
what, Seth? I don't care about the planet. You care about the planet,
You
bro.
must care about the planet.
Bro. So yeah, I don't know if that answers your question.
Yes, we have comments on YouTube also still talking directly to you. Deborah Bassi is saying, yes, it's not normal. Thank you, Clean Waves, for all you do.
Thanks, Debs.
Well, Ibrahim Bello is asking a question. He said, what is the common challenge in waste management? And as we're wrapping up the show, I want you to address that, the common challenge in waste management, and also tell us how we can partner or tap into what Clean Waves is doing, so that as much as it's an individual thing, it could become widespread in our communities and then help you to help Nigeria in that sense. Yes.
Okay, so Ibrahim's question about some of the common challenges. Behavioral issues, first of all. Like I said, a lot of people don't think it's their problem. Indiscipline, because a lot of people were not trained to be, information, which is a lot of people were not trained to be conscious. Indiscipline, a lot of people don't care again. But to make it on a bigger scale, let's say, okay, you've now learned that I want to be conscious about waste management. I've gotten information. There's not a lot of recycling initiatives, so to speak, like that. There are a few. I mean, in some estates, you see like wire meshes where you can go and put your plastic. There are different apps, platforms where you can call them, text them, they'll come and carry your plastic. Platforms like Waste Bank, Recyclers, and the rest. I don't know quite a lot of them. I only use Waste Bank. So that's for like an individual level. There's also like storage issues, because if you want to really keep these recyclables, you need to be comfortable with the idea that maybe there's going to be one room in your house that is not going to be given because you're packing waste in a bag. You have to also be comfortable with the fact that it might not generate a lot of money in the long run, in the immediate, maybe in the long run, you can accumulate the wealth. And that's one of the things I love about some of those apps, in that if you give them the recyclables, you will get money in your account. So it can be 2K, it can be 1K. Nobody says you have to spend it now. You can pile it up, use it to buy airtime, gift someone. It's something that you wouldn't have had if you did not keep the waste. What are also some of the major issues? Like I said, storage. So even for individual as well as for organizations that want to do things like this, anybody that wants to go into the recycling business, you need to have land, like lots and lots of land to keep all these recyclables. Another challenge is there's not a lot of end-to-end recycling solutions here in Nigeria, because, so the idea of recycling is turning something into something else. So if I carry the plastic now, you're probably curious, what's going to happen to that plastic? They're going to like break it down into like what you call flakes, and then those flakes will be turned into other things. You can even export it. It's a major, major business for exportation. The aggregators in this country, those recycling, they're exporting it. Like they're selling it and they're getting major bucks, you know? So challenges like no end-to-end solutions here in Nigeria to even say, okay, I'm going to flake it, I'm going to transport it myself. Some people always have to send it like that to get flaked. And of course, that's going to reduce the value of what you're going to get. What else? Scavengers. I mean, they're part of the solution, but low-key also kind of part of the problem. And, I mean, I'm just joking. I mean, we appreciate everything scavengers are doing, but what I mean by it's part of the problem is because some people have that mentality that scavengers will pick them up, so they don't take risk. Guess what? If you keep your waste, scavengers will still see waste to carry. So how about keep your waste and call these people? Go and give them. There are different hubs and pick-up points around. I'm sure if you move around, you'll see. Even Loma has some of those things. Like Google Information.
Just read.
Just read.
So in
Google.
10 seconds, how can we partner with Clean Waves?
Oh, everyone always looking for volunteers. Money, please give us money because we need money. Most of my personal money has gone into it. God, please. Volunteers, money, donations. You can, so kind of like what we did in May, where we did value for plastic. If you have things you want to donate, for instance, things you want to give, you can, oh wow, and I did just drop to my head, I love it. You can bring it and then we would share with people in exchange for recyclables. So, and then of course, promote, repost us, tell people about us. Pray for us too. Thanks.
Very important.
Thank
you very much. Well, as you've seen today, the challenges of waste management and flooding in Nigeria are complex, but they are not insurmountable. By working together and adopting sustainable practices, we can create a better future for ourselves and future generations. So what can you do? Our guests have said it. Start by making small changes in your daily life. Reduce your use of single plastics, recycle more, and support organizations working towards a cleaner Nigeria. Let's take action and demand more from our leaders. Today, together, tomorrow, forever, we can create a Nigeria where our environment is protected and our communities thrive. Thank you, of course, Omolola, and God's Beauty. Thank you every day. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and all our social media platforms. We'll see you again tomorrow with another amazing topic. Bye for now.